This is a Functional Subgrouping Practice Community call. And I'll start with centering. So news and distractions. This is the first call after a week of pause again. I still haven't invited the remaining, the people who have expressed that they would like to practice. A lot of and today today would have been a meeting where someone else would have participated, but they didn't show up without giving notice. I'll go into the functional subgrouping part. I like that I try to stay with facts and not interpretations in the section news and distractions. And it's not easy to do that. But I appreciate to have a structure. Anyone else? Ali, you're appreciating that you try to keep up the structure of this call, to keep the information and exploration in the sections where they seem to make sense. Yeah, and one of the interpretations of the facts in the new sections that came up was that there seems to be a huge energy drain in yourself, and also maybe to some extent in another group member, who the person who you expected to be here and now isn't here. I expected to be here and now isn't here. And this ties back to a deeper layer where I'm asking myself whether what I'm doing in general is of value. And now I'm looking into the restraining forces that I can identify for continuing these calls. Anyone else? Nelly, you see energy loss of yourself and possibly for others concerning these calls. And you see a general idea about your whole life where you struggle to see value in what you're doing, including these calls. And then what came up for you was that you want to look into the restraining forces for conducting these calls. So one restraining force would be to see no value in what I'm doing, or see greater value in something else I could do. Another restraining force was that yet another member of this group told me that they're only available in a certain time frame, and that time frame made it more difficult for me to comply, to fit into my own schedule, significantly more difficult. And so by trying to make it possible that the other person can participate here, I removed myself the liberty to do it when it fits best for myself. And as the other person wasn't suggesting times, and I could not be sure that they would participate, I didn't have the energy to have a call at a higher cost for myself without knowing that the other person would participate actually. So trying to accommodate someone else without getting a return commitment from the other person. was taking away energy from my system. Anyone else? Nelly, you see two restraining forces. One is to not have clarity whether what you're doing is actually a good way to spend time, whether you can see value in it, or having other things that in which you see more value. And the second thing that was draining energy was that you were making things harder for yourself to gain the cooperation of somebody else without receiving actually commitment from the other person, and therefore not perceiving enough energy to actually try and you decided to not use the time that works best for you in the hope that the other person would join, then you decided to not use the time which was more challenging for you because you thought the probability that someone would join is so little anyway. There's no point in trying. I'm feeling tense. Playing with my fingernails. Like a stabbing sensation in my chest. And I'm hearing criticizing voices in myself that this call is really running really bad, and I want to hide it. I don't want to put it online for people to see and become appalled by what I'm doing, which certainly is not functional subgrouping. Anyone else? Nelly, your body feels tense. You have a stabbing sensation, pain in your chest, and you're playing with your fingernails. You're tense, and you have voices. You thoughts come about seeing no value in what you're doing here, wanting to hide the recording. Criticizing that what you're doing is not related to functional subgrouping. Enjoy being aware of what's going on in my body. Gives me a chance to have a choice whether I want to do that. I have a choice whether I let my thoughts influence my feelings. I can move my body. I can try to think different directions. And also the body sensations don't have to dominate my thoughts. I can sit up, I can move, I can do things to change my body experiences. And even if this is not functional subgrouping in the way that SCTRI is doing it, it's the best thing I have accessible with my current knowledge and the many people who are participating in this. So practice isn't mastery. Anyone else? Nelly, you appreciate becoming aware of what's on your mind, what's going on in thoughts, and what how your body feels, because then you have a choice about thinking that and feeling that, experiencing, relating to that experience. And you are glad to realize that a practice group for functional subgrouping doesn't need to be perfect in doing what is practiced. It's always a matter of how much you already know about the subject and what possibilities are there, how many people are there, for example. And I'll go into surprises and learnings. I was surprised to see how helpful it was to name the body sensations I have and the thoughts I have. I've learning that it's not a good trade-off to it to make a choice to pick another time which is more convenient for someone else than for myself, and then make the choice to not to not practice because the other person probably is not gonna turn up. I have a satisfaction that I've started a call like this again. And I have a next step to contact the person whom I expected and check mind reads. And maybe arrange a meeting to replace this meeting, which didn't happen for the two of us. That's a time boundary.